all, I'm Amita, one of the OET trainers from Jamia International Academy. Today, I'm here with an interesting topic. As we all know, most of the OET students are facing the problem to create an introductory paragraph in OET writing module. So, as a solution, we are here to discuss some examples of introductory paragraph in writing module. We can take an unknown case. Okay, so the patient's name is Sarah James, who had an appendectomy recently, and she requires post-operative care and management from a community health nurse. So this is the situation, and all these data you have to include in the introductory paragraph. Now we can look at that, how we can write this introductory paragraph. Okay, so we can write like this: appreciating your willingness to accept Mrs. Sarah James, who has undergone appendectomy, she requires post-surgical care and management. So this is how simply you can write a different way of introductory paragraph. Now we can go for another example, that is, we can just take the name of the patient as Mrs. Sarah James itself, and the patient is having pneumonia and the patient is now in a recovering stage, So we can write like this: referring Mrs. Sarah James to your facility who is recovering from pneumonia, she requires continuing care and management. So this is another way that we can write an introductory paragraph. Now we can move on to another example, that is, now we can take a male patient. Okay, so the patient's name is Samuel Thomas, and the patient is having diabetic nephropathy, that is the condition, and now we are referring the patient to some other facility. How we can write this introductory paragraph? So we can write like this: requesting your attention to Mr. Samuel Thomas for further treatment and management since he has diabetic nephropathy. The same thing that we can write in another way, that is, I'm planning to introduce Mr. Samuel Thomas who has diabetic nephropathy, full stop, she requires further treatment and management. So these all are the different ways to write the introductory paragraph in OET writing, and apart from that we can just begin the introductory paragraph with the name of the patient. So we can just write like this: Mr. Samuel Thomas has been treated for diabetic nephropathy, full stop, she requires or he requires further treatment and management. If the patient's age is somewhat relevant in this context of this letter, you can just begin the letter with the age of the patient, okay? Or otherwise, if the patient is an elderly one, so you can just begin with that too, like this: an elderly man, Mr. Samuel Thomas, has been treated for diabetic nephropathy, full stop, he requires further assessment and management. This is how we can write the introductory paragraph if it is an unknown case. Now we can move on to the noun cases. How we can write the introductory paragraph for the noun case. Okay, we all are familiar with the cliche way, that is, I am writing to update the current health status of Mr. X who requires so and so. Okay, so we all are familiar with the cliche introductory paragraph. Instead of that, we can write in another way. We can just begin the introductory paragraph with the name of the patient, like this: Mr. Samuel Thomas is being back in your facility who has undergone appendectomy. He requires post-surgical care and management. So this is how we can write the introductory paragraph if it is a noun case. The another way is like this: referring back Mr. Samuel Thomas to your facility who has been treated for diabetic nephropathy, full stop, he requires continuing care and management. This is all about today's topic, and I think this is an informative session for you, and stay tuned for upcoming videos like this. Thank you.